You asked for it. Here it is. Game 1 this evening. Helldivers 2. Unky Dunky. You have to lead investigate, mate, because all I do on the battlefield is follow you around and try not to shoot you, not always successfully.
I'm glad you prefaced that with try, because there was a grenade moment last night, guys. I don't want to get into it. It made me very sad.
You may or may not see it in the footage, mate.
No, we had to bring back GEA for this very special moment to talk about this year's Game of the Year so far. There might be another one knocking on the
point of order so far. Excuse me.
Well, I mean, who knows?
Nothing is dethroning this.
That's true. Bully might have something to say about a game that we're going to talk about next.
The second one, yeah.
He might have something to say. But for me, this so far, I haven't put this much time in a game for a long time. I'm currently sitting at 83 hours in Helldivers 2. So I think I'm well versed to talk about this game and how good it is. Yes, it's had hiccups along the way, but I think the devs have been
that was
really
me throwing grenades.
No, that was definitely you throwing a grenade. But the devs have been really good at updating us, even though there's been times where the servers have gone down. I was a day one adopter, so it was good that it sort of worked at the start. But then you had that first weekend where, the word got out how good this game was, and then servers couldn't keep up, and they had to, give us more servers, and you had to wait in queues to get into the game, and, people were leaving the game idle so they could just stage up in the game, but it was also causing server blockage.
No, pump the brakes right there, because I have a bone to pick with the CEO. I'm blanking on his name. He's active on Twitter and he's doing fine work. I love Helldivers 2 and I love most of his tweets, but the one where he asserted it was the PS5 gamers hoarding server space, bullshit, I say. Bullshit. Go back and check the install video. I pointed out that the servers weren't kicking people when they put their PS5 into rest mode. It had nothing to do with the gamers. It was 100% his porting team's fault. When they ported to the PS5, they neglected to check, what happens if they put it in rest mode? Do we dislodge them from the server? No, 100% developer issue. And then he tried to blame the gamers and... Did I get angry? Yes, I did. Sorry, Unky, back to you.
I don't know if that's committed. I mean, yes, players will sort of look to the best way to keep playing the game. If they like the game, I guarantee there's plenty that took advantage of the fact that there was no kick out and they were literally hoarding those servers. So
was it you or was it Ace? It was either you or Ace, Unky, that told me you put your PS5 into rest mode in launch week and came back the next day, a full 24 hours later, pulled the PS5 back out of rest mode and he was still in his ship. That is.
I don't know if I told you that. That definitely did happen to me. So
yeah, that is in no way the gamer's fault. Their servers. Well, the game needs to acknowledge. I'm going into rest mode. Disconnect from the server. It's one line of code that they didn't put in, and then they tried to blame us for it. Get out of here! Infringement notice. Do I have a button? 2-point infringement notice for blaming the gamers. Sorry, Unky, back to you.
No, I'm still saying gamers will sort of, take things to their advantage if it's there as well. So, yes, their fault, but I'm pretty sure there's plenty of them people taking advantage saying, I don't want to be sitting there for a queue for 20 minutes when I can just leave my game on. So
nobody is taking advantage of this game in any way, shape or form, especially not with macro hacking. It's not a thing. It's never the gamer's fault.
Definitely not. No, but let's talk about the game. I know Bully's, he hasn't yet to get into this game, which is crazy to me. He's too busy off getting them platinums in shit games, but that's okay. We'll talk about that later. No, this game for me, from the day I loaded it up, I think what spoke to me is one of my favorite open world, third-person shooting games is Metal Gear Solid 5. I think it's got some of the best mechanics going around in terms of movement and shooting. And straight away when I started playing this game, this felt like that. And I've seen comparison videos where you could almost argue that it's literally ripped directly from Metal Gear Solid 5, but I don't care. It's some of the best shooting you're going to find in any kind of game. So the fact they've brought that mechanic to this game, and it's essentially Starship Troopers on crack, I'm in love with it. Like, it's literally bringing back all my memories of Starship Troopers back in the day, shooting bugs or, going to the planets. And then, some people don't even realize there's a whole other side to the galaxy where you can start fighting robots. So the amount of times I played with friends at the start of this game and said, do you realize you can play against robots? Like, what? I only thought there was the bugs. And the fact they've got scope to add a whole bunch more to this game. There's another faction coming soon, which has been leaked as well. I think they do the Battle Pass stuff really well. I think the fact that it never goes away, it's always there. There's a non-paid one straight up the front, which has heaps of good stuff in it. And then all the stuff you're earning in the game is used to unlock these other battle passes as well. You don't have to drop real cash. If you just play the game, you're going to find super credits throughout the world. You're going to unlock super credits throughout the other battle passes to then use those 1,000 super credits to unlock the next battle pass. And I think people can say pay to win. This game is far from pay to win. I think this is one of the best implementations of not only a live service, but of battle passes down to a T, where it doesn't look like it's trying to nickel and dime you at all. It's everyone's got different ways to play the game. Everyone's got different versions of weapons they prefer. There was a meta issue they had at one point where everyone was using a loadout, which I'm guilty of as well, because it was
that
the best loadout in
shotgun
the
was
game.
epic before they nerfed it. Was it the breaker, I want to say?
Yeah, the break, it's still really good. Like, I sort of jumped off it for a bit and tried a few other weapons, but going back to it, it's still just as good. Like, its recoil's slightly higher than it was. It has 3 less bullets than it did in its mag previously, but it still wrecks. It's still got the same amount of damage. So,
wait,
yes,
can I just jump in for a sec?
Yeah.
Now, Bully, I'd just like to take your temperature as we're going here, mate. What is the likelihood at this point of the conversation that you'll be picking it up? Is that 3? Is that 3% or 30%?
That was 3. That was
That's
3.
0, 0, 0.
3 and a 0 there.
No.
That was 30. I'm going with 30% for Bully.
Is it the robots that aren't doing it for you, Bully, or?
Yeah, the robots, the bugs, the whole lot. It probably will make sense when we discuss another topic shortly as to why. But I've just the short answer for me is I've really gone off multiplayer games, and don't get me wrong, I everybody I've heard speak about this, I've seen vision of it. It looks great, fantastic. I've just gone off multiplayer games.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll sit you at 30% sale at the minute. Unky Dunky, dive back into your sales at EB Games mindset. Get this sale done. Come on, speak to Bully. Speak his language. Let's get that up over 30%.
Because I'm not sure what's turned him off multiplayer. Maybe it's the Call of Duty that he's been playing, the PvP stuff. But, I mean, what I think sets this game apart is, you can actually play it solo, and you can do a fair bit of, of the game solo. I can play a medium to hard difficulty by myself and play it as a completely separate game. I almost play solo as like a stealth game. You almost kind of feel like Sam Fisher moving throughout some of these levels using different loadouts that you have to do than when you're with a group and have different kind of fun.
Do you know, I often find myself playing solo, but it's because everyone else pisses off.
Yeah,
because you toss some grenades at
Not just grenades, Bully. You can rain all kinds of fire on friendlies.
I think this is some of the best multiplayer I've played in terms of co-op experience, where I think the whole playing community is at large quite a good one and very positive. I think everyone that comes into these games, even the newbies, like I'll jump into like quick games and just jump in with a whole bunch of levels 1 to 10. I'm currently sitting at level 41 with my 80 odd hours played, and just enjoying going through that world and jumping in there with all my good stratagems and all my good weapons, and then you're showing them sort of what to work towards. And it's just a really fun game and really social. Like the amount of times I play with just random people who've ended up playing tons of games, and you're chatting on headset. And I'm one of those gamers that will literally mute everyone in the game and just play without talking. This game, you can do that as well. There's plenty of ways to ping things and that, but I found myself sometimes even on mute, people will be talking through, and I can hear them through the TV saying stuff, and then I feel the need to pick up my headset and just start speaking to them. And you create these really good bonds with these guys as you're going through these levels, especially on hard difficulties where you really have to sort of strategize about who's using what at what time. And, you'll call in an airstrike and just yell at everyone to sort of get back before it comes in, or you just call it on top of everyone anyway, and everyone dies. But it's just the amount of different moments I've had in this game. It's not like you get scripted moments in games all the time, like big, Call of Duty moments in games that are fully scripted, and you go, whoa, that's amazing. This game has that, but they're not scripted. They just happen organically throughout the world. Like that's what I love about this game is every single game, the amount of stories I've been able to tell with people from work, with you, Troy, just the amount of stories I've had that are just absolutely epic. Like even looking on the screen now, there's the mech that came in sort of not too long ago, where I had one of my mates, he was in the middle of a game. I dropped into his game. He was on evac. He was getting pushed back through the world by tons of bots just coming at him. I could see him just backing away. The evac was coming in. I've called him my mech. I've run out there. I've just taken out all the mechs. He, for some reason, thought I was one of those mechs. He had a couple of shots at me, then realized it was me coming to rescue him. And I've taken them all out, and then we've both gone back and both evac'd with all our samples and everything. So it's just small moments like that that are just littered throughout this game. And I'd be hard-pressed to say you don't get one of those moments, or if not more, every single time you drop into one of those planets.
Let me throw this at Unky. I would assert there's no scripted moments in this game. There are spawn points. There's like, you're calling the evac unit, and then yes, you're going to get like horde mode waves at the end. But other than that, it's like, it's just an open sandbox. Players have some fun, and players are finding the fun in this game. And Arrowhead, they've hit a hole in one on this one, and I think they might have been blindfolded in the tee box. Like, they had no idea this thing was going to be so huge, and it is just chaotic fun at its best, at least when I'm playing it anyway.
No, it's always chaotic. It's always fun. It's one of those things like, I said, friendly fire's always switched on, so you really do have to check your rate of fire or whatever your gun you're using. The electric guns can cause mass death amongst your group if you're not being too careful. And
did you hear the song they released about that?
No, I didn't.
You got to check yourself before you're going to wreck yourself.
Oh, that's definitely about you. That's for sure.
Oh, wait, look, Bully, I think we've just lifted him to 50% purchase. Bully, how are we going?
10.
Oh,
Ooh,
we've
10%.
20%. Unky, keep selling it.
I thought we're going from 0 to 10, so I thought we'd actually doing all right. But no, it is gameplay over story or anything like that. There is a story being sort of told. You sort of have to. Yeah, there is. You got this whole world thing going on about Super Earth, and we're pushing bugs. I don't want to get into it. There's a game master at the head of it all. Even just a simple thing like bringing.
Story's great.
The what I like is I didn't just drop mechs into this game. There was this whole thing we had to, as a collective group, liberate a planet. And that's what I like about this. Everyone has got the same goal. It's not different, servers or anything. It's literally everyone's on this same thing trying to liberate these planets. So when a large, task comes in, everyone is working towards that. So to get the mechs, we had to sort of hit this planet where the mechs were at, and we had to eradicate them to make sure the mechs got made, essentially. So we all worked towards that. Once that planet was 100% liberated, we got the mechs. So just small things like that. It's very D&D. He's always creating small mini stories. You don't really know what's going on. Like, we had to just recently sort of go to the Terminated planets and take out a whole bunch of stuff there, but that could lead to something else. And I just think the scope for this game is huge. I think the fact that it's Sony owned, I think Sony's, they were trying to push the whole live service stuff, and everyone was a bit like, oh, I don't know about that. Live service not great at the moment in terms of the way, especially something like Suicide Squad was received. I actually didn't mind that game and stuff, but in terms of staying power, it doesn't have what this has got. And I just think, looking down the track, I've spoken to you about this, Troy, I think in terms of being able to bring other, IPs and stuff into this game that sort of would suit it well. We were talking last night about Horizon potentially being, either skins, or you drop into a planet, you've got robot dinosaurs, you've got Killzone you could bring into this, and even Astrobot, you go into a world, because the Astrobot's getting around there. But there's scope to have different sort of outfits brought in from all these other different Sony franchises, because it is owned by Sony, I think is huge. And I think that's what's going to keep this game going. And I think you can just keep bringing different factions. They've already shown they've got the staying power. Yes, they might introduce a patch that stuffs up the stability of the game, but usually within 2-3 days you sort of back in and the game sort of settle itself. This lighting in this game is ridiculous. Like, it doesn't, for something that's generates a new version of that world every time you drop in. This game is absolutely gorgeous, especially with those storms and stuff hit. Now you've got meteors and stuff that can start dropping in. You've got electric storms that now come in. You've now got flying bugs that have just hit yesterday, as I found out, which are a pain in the ass to kill. But it's just they just keep pushing this stuff out, mate. They are a nightmare. They are so hard.
Are they just on the bug planet, or are they also on with the Terminators?
No, just the bug planet at the moment. So you'll find these little mushroom spores, big mushroom spores you've got to try and take out. Otherwise, they just keep spawning from that. Like, you can be one-shotted by these things that swoop you, and they are scary as hell. And they come in quite a few of them as well. So
can they swoop in and pick you up and drag your way up into the air and then drop you? Because that'd be epic.
That has not happened to me yet. I have definitely been swooped and one-shotted, but a lot of times they're a bit of cannon fodder. So, jumping in the mech, I've found is probably the best way to sort of take care of them. Just chuck your machine gun up in the air and start firing blindly at all of them. Most of the time you'll take them out. But
wait, are you suggesting there's times where you're not firing blindly? Am I playing this wrong?
Definitely, you should probably aim. Maybe, I don't even know if you're aware of the first-person mode you can click into with your guns as well, which is another thing epic in this game. Most games might give you the option of first-person or third-person. This game, you can play however you like, and a lot of the guns can benefit from that first-person mode, like the railgun, for instance. If you overclock it too far, it'll blow you up, but if you go into first-person mode, you can see the little meter rising up to red, and you've got to let it go, and it is a generally OP gun, which they kind of nerfed a little bit, but no, just the amount of things in this game, I haven't been this blown away by as Bully says, multiplayer game for a long time. And I am not generally a big multiplayer game player, but something that's done this well, that's co-op, that I can just jump in and play solo if I want to have that experience as well, which is a completely different experience than the multiplayer experience. But again, making friends, having fun, the scripted moments, the way it plays in terms of graphics and performance. I think for the amount of stuff that's generally happening on the screen at once, there's not many times where you're dropping below that 60 frames per second, which I think is outstanding considering how much is usually happening on the screen at any given time.
It is outstanding. And Bully, look at this bit of footage here, man. This was great. This was Unky and I playing last night, and this little canyon run thing here at the end. Unky, do you remember the AT-ATs come up over the top bridge and start snobbing it? This is one of those just crazy unscripted moments where you just find yourself in the middle of the battlefield, lasers coming at you left, right, and center, and then suddenly they're behind you. It is just awesome, chaotic fun. I can't speak highly enough about this game. I think this is game of the year, hands down. I'd even put it in a game of the decade list already. This thing has nothing but upward potential. Bully, give me a percentage. How close are we to that sale button?
0.
All right, wait. I've got it. I've got it. Look at these biomes, Unky. Talk us through the biomes. How good are they?
We've got him. You know how much Bully loves the biome.
He's off to get his credit card, ladies and gentlemen.
He's off to vomit.
No, I know we're talking about graphics and stuff, but I have to say, and I don't normally talk about sound much in games, but this has got to be one of the best sounding games I reckon I've ever played as well. When you call in those hell bombs or even just set off one of the more scripted nukes and the whole thing just explodes and you can see it and then the wind hits you, my God, this game is just singing on so many levels, orally, that I cannot speak higher of it. I just think I wasn't expecting to like this. I was expecting to like this game. I wasn't expecting to love this game, and I'm in love with this game. This is, for me, is a 10 out of 10 experience every day of the week.
And this is also, I would put this on one of the ones that for me, I won't be deleting it off the PS5. Even if something else, like a big single-player story, 30-hour, like a Spider-Man 2 or something could come out in the future, and I'd still keep Helldivers 2 on there because it's drop-in gameplay. And for me, I'll solo play it and play it on, trivial, then easy, then medium. I'll play it on easy or medium. I'll drop in, do a 15-minute run, have an absolute blast, and then you could easily jump off to another game. They have absolutely nailed this. Unky, what do you think about this? Off the top of my head, hadn't considered it, haven't pitched it to you yet. What are the chances we get a GT7 style patch that implements PSVR 2 to this game? How would that go?
Well, considering they've just announced PSVR 2 winding down production of them, I really highly doubt that's going to happen somehow. I don't know if I'd want it. There's too much going on the screen. It'd probably make me feel sick playing PSVR 2 in this. I mean, it'd be cool to immerse yourself in the planets and the world of it, but don't think it's going to happen.
Look at this grenade moment.
Oh, here we go. All I hear is Troy go, oh, shit. And then I'm like, what? And I'm like, I think he's dropped a grenade. And I'm like, what's happening? And then, right at extraction as well. Am I dead yet?
I think it's about to happen. I'm convinced I get this stratagem call correct and I'm holding the stratagem in my hand. And no, I've actually flicked the wrong thing on the D-pad and I'm holding a grenade instead of the stratagem. And then I just throw it at my feet. And right here, oh, shit, bang. There goes Unky. I'm flying off the edge of the cliff. Absolute chaos.
See, Bully, this is why I need you to get the game, mate. This is what I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Can we get a hashtag real gamer in here, please?
Speaking of hashtag real gamers, Bully, this will be the final check-in. I'm loving it. 2 thumbs up. As I said, game of the year, hands down. Definitely on my game of the decade list. Unky, you seem pretty high on it, man. Score it for me out of 10.
11.
I love it. Great answer. Bully, final time I'll ask. What's the sales chance?
0.
Ah! You're killing me, Bully. You're killing me.
0.